Life Her Podcast.
Hey, you.
Her is me, her is you. Her is us, her is she, her is we. United we stand, baby, that hurt for keeps. I'm coming and I demand my space, I know it's free. I owe myself the world, they tried to count me out. I've been down some dark roads, they tried to pound me out. From cloudy to sunny, ain't think that I would make it out. I needed positive emotions to fill me out.
Hey ladies, I am your host Yvette Lloyd and I would like to welcome Dr. Denise Mose. How are you?
I'm awesome. I'm awesome. So good to be here. Thank you so much.
Yes, I am so excited to have you on the show. And
Oh,
I read everything about you and I can say you
okay.
are super dope. I love it.
Thanks.
It's like you give so much hope and inspiration for women to just do something without even worrying about anything. Just go for it.
No safety net.
No, none whatsoever.
I'm like
It was
I'm
just
like
like you,
Zendaya in the Greatest Showman. I got no net. I'm just going for
yes, you really like
it.
literally stepped out on faith. Like you
Right.
really
Yeah.
did. And that's just so rare because so many times, like women be afraid to do things because we be afraid to fail, but
Sure.
or just anything. But the fact of we won't know if we fail until we do it.
Right. Exactly. And that's why you have to. I say in my book, and I say in my podcast, and I say it when I speak to clients, you owe it to yourself to try. You owe it to yourself to see where this can go. Life is just so short, and if you don't try, you'll never know. You never know.
Mm-mm. You never know. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am Denise Yvette Mose, and I hail from Huntsville, Alabama, and went to Alabama A&M, Go Bulldogs, and
All right.
got my degree HBCUs,
All
and
right. Which
education.
one?
Alabama A&M University,
Oh,
AAMU.
okay. Yes.
Yeah, so yes, loved it. They say that college is the best 4 years of your life, and it absolutely is. It absolutely is. So, had a great time at A&M. I got my degree in education, and then moved to Florida to be a teacher. That was my background. So I taught
Okay.
for about 14, 15 years, and thoroughly enjoyed it, and just kind of got to a point where um, I was regressing and not progressing. So around summer 2014, my good friend Nushelle said, you should consider. I was telling her, I said, I need a drastic change. I'm bored. I love what I'm doing. I love teaching. I love what I'm doing. I love my writing. I'd written a few books about it anyway, but I got bored. I'm like, okay, is there more to do? And long story short, she had a contract, and she said through the government saying that I send teachers all the time to China and the Far East, and I'm like, are you telling me to go to China? Are you asking me to go to China?
Right.
And she's like, well, you might want to consider it. You said drastic, and I'm like, well, I know I said drastic, but maybe I was emotional that day. Maybe I didn't really mean that. And so she said, and so the more I talked to her, the more she said, I know Frank's son, he owns several schools in China, and they're top-notch schools. I know the apartment you'll stay in, and you'll be there for a year. I'm like, whoa. And and she just kept talking to me, and she said, Denise, you would be great. She said, Doc, you fit in anywhere. You're naturally funny. You get along with anybody. You make everyone your friend. This you could do this. And I called my dad, I called my best friend, my twin Danielle, and my brother, and they were like, you're not married. You don't have any kids. You can go.
Mm-hmm.
And so, long story short, I sold everything, drove a U-Haul to my church, New Covenant Baptist Church in Orlando, and drove home in my U-Haul to Huntsville, Alabama, and I was in China in 54 days.
What? I'm
Yes, ma'am.
talking about, man. You was on
Yes,
a
ma'am. I was on.
move.
And I just felt like, you know what? This can go one or two ways. This can be the best thing I've ever done, or the craziest thing I've ever done, and it not work out. And I said, but you know what? What if this is awesome? What if this is great? What if this is the drastic change I said I needed? What if this is that spark that I was missing, and it gets me back to where I want to be? And it was that and so much more. And my year there flew by. So my book, Blind Faith, is all about that. I knew no one in China. I didn't know where I was staying. I saw the school online. I had not walked through the school. I didn't have any pen pals over there, nothing. So I knew my interpreter, and we got 24 hours before I got to China, well, 37 hours later. And I met her in the airport, and that was that. that, was that.
Wow.
That was that.
Ooh, I mean, you
Yeah.
really stepped out on faith. How did you feel like once you got there, you landed like, wow, I'm really in China and I'm about to be moving here.
Yeah. I had said prayer. I said, Lord, please cover. I said, cover my father, cover my twin, and my brother. I said, cover those who I love, cover them. I said, give me this, Lord, give me this year. Let them be okay for a year. Let me come back and everything, but don't let anything happen to them. You know what I'm saying? I had my dad, I had my brother, and my sister. That's my immediate family. And so I said, Lord, just don't let anything happen to them while I'm gone for a year, And of course they're all fine. Of course they are, but that's what it was about. I had gotten to a point where I had to do something. I was completely bored, and I don't want to say I was in a rut, but I kind of was. I was over the routine. Work, get paid, come home, cook, sleep. Work, get paid, come home, cook. And it was just for me. I said, this is just got to be more than this for me. There's got to be more. And China was just wonderful. When I got there and I saw all the folks staring at me, I'm like, okay, you're not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy. You're not in Kansas. You really did this thing. And I was scared. I was excited. But mostly I was just like, you know what, I'm here. Let's rock this. Let's go rock this. Let China know I'm here, you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
I just embraced it.
So what was it like? Did you even know Chinese language?
No. I knew no. I knew, and this is how bad it was. I said Kanishi, Kanishiwa. That's Japanese. So I'm like, whoa, wrong place. That's all I do. So I had gotten the book, Chinese to, the English, well, Mandarin that is. And I said, you know what? Let me just wait until I get there and hear it from the natives. Hear the authentic people speaking it. That way I'll know it. And it took me 9 months to learn Mandarin. It took me 9 months to learn because Mandarin is no joke. The beauty is my roommate was the school tutor. Her name is Ivy, and that's her American name. Her name was, I can't pronounce her Chinese name, but that was her American name. And so she was a school tutor. So she spoke fluent English and, of course, Chinese. So she, and she kept telling me, Denise, you must learn. I said, no, Ivy, I don't want to learn Mandarin. I'm just here to do this 1-year contract, meet and travel and see y'all, and I'm going home. And she said, no, she said, no, you American, you must learn. And so she was just on me at least a good 2 months, And I said, you know what, Ivy? I said, if we're going to do this, start me at the basics. 1, 2, 3, yellow, blue, green, red fish, blue fish.
Right,
Said,
like you do it
at the beginning.
like you do
because
being in
I don't
kindergarten.
even know. Right. So, and that's how we started. And then she started putting words on the wall. And then she took me to an authentic calligraphy class where they wrote my name in Mandarin. I said, this is awesome. So, and then she took me out to the city, to get a cab, and I would watch her do it, listen to her, and see the reason why Mandarin is so difficult is that Chinese has 4 tones. So, English is flat. Hey, how you doing? What's going on? Yeah, hi. But Mandarin has tones. So if you say "teta," that means one thing. "Teta" means something else. So if you say that word a certain way, you're saying either someone's wife or a smile. So it just depends. That's why it's so difficult. So those sounds that you hear, that those are words. For example, 1 through 5. 1 through 5 in Chinese is E R Sun Su Wu. E R Sun Su Wu. So that sounds like grunts, right? Like what is? But those are actually words. Those are words. So yeah. So that was amazing to learn that. So when she broke that down, that you have to be very specific in what you say and how you say it, intonation, all that stuff. You have to really, really say your words correctly, or you're saying the wrong thing. So yeah, that's why it's so hard. So, but after about a good 7 months, I was able to go on my own. And after 9 months, I traveled by myself. I went to Hong Kong by myself. I went to Dubai. I went to Korea. I went to Bangkok, all by myself.
Oh, so you was just home at that point.
I'm here. Let's do this. Let's go. So yeah.
So when did you actually go into finding like your self-discovery? as far as you going there?
I would probably say for my second month, maybe 8 weeks into it, I met a student. I had a student for a while. Her name was Agnes, and she really wanted to learn English. And I had all these great students, but she said, "You really, really helped me because number one, every culture is proud of who they are. Every culture, but especially the Asians, they're very proud of their prowess in science and robotics and statistics. They're very proud of that. And learning the English language is very difficult. And I learned that English is actually the hardest language to learn. There's French and there's German and there's Italian and then there's, of course, Mandarin. But English is actually very, very difficult to learn because our one word can mean so many things, like
Right.
straight. Is it a straight line? Yeah, it's straight. You tired? Yeah, I'm straight. I just said, wow, I never thought about that because English is very, very difficult. The word set the table. I set you in spades, so of all the words over there, they were saying SET is very difficult because it's got like 50 explanations. And I'm like, you're right.
Yeah,
Absolutely right.
I never thought of that either.
Me either. So probably my 8th week there. And Agnes and I, we talked to this day, and she said, "You've helped me learn." And she was a senior in high school. And although I had only adults as my students, I had a few who had some crazy IQs, and so they were in my classes, and she was one of them. So, but yeah, she was, and she has since gone on to graduate from Shanghai and is working in Beijing now, and she's just doing great. But she said, "You really, really helped me. I wanted you to know that." And she said, "I'm so glad you came here." At that point, they were all grateful that I was there, but no one ever said that. But she said, "Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming here and helping us. Thank you for being here." So I never forgot that. I did that. That's when I was like, okay, Denise, this is good. You were here.
Seemed like your self-discovery come from you helping them.
Well, I'm a teacher by nature, so it's in me to help anyway. It's in me to give and pay it forward. It's in me to, how can I help you get through this? What can I help you do this? My parents were teachers. My mom was a math teacher. My dad was a teacher, a principal, a coach for 40 years. So I grew up with that, with being helped, So
right.
It was in me to do that. That's just part of my core. That's just part of who I am. That's just the space that God gave me to help people. I generally love helping people. Teaching is my first love. I'm a high school teacher, and I have teenagers, and so we Zoom on Sundays. It's not the same being with them, but still every Sunday we had that connection. So yeah, that was very powerful for her to say, and then to say, okay, you know what, hey, and then Asians are not very emotional. They don't do a lot of PDA. Americans, we hug, kiss in public. They don't do that in China. They don't do that. So the whole culture was very, very humbling for me. I had 3 foreign teachers. I know we're hopping around the conversation, so thank you for allowing me to do that.
Oh, you okay? You okay?
But I had 3 really, really great foreign friends who were teachers. Juan from Argentina, and Augustine from Mexico, and Damon from Pakistan. And
nice.
Damon and Juan said, we watch you Americans on trash day. And I said, why? And they said, because you throw so much away. And that, so things like that.
That is true.
Things like that
is
got
true.
me, and keep in mind, I was there during the Obama years. I was there with Michelle, and Obama came to China twice that year while I was there. So I was there during the Obama years, Michelle and Malia and Sasha and the dogs, and they were so beloved, and America was so beloved, So I was there at a time when it's different the way it is now, So
why didn't you stay?
And so funny, they email me every week, Denise, please come back. And I'm like, but I did that, and that's done. I did that. I conquered it. That's done. I'm good. I can take that year and a half and really apply that to everything else, to doing my workbook, to speaking, to traveling, and doing all that. I've really, really taken that and just taken that time I had there and applying it to everything else, and to everything I'm doing right now. So, but yeah, I thought
Okay.
about going back. I'm like, because when I got back from China, nobody would hire me. People who I knew,
So
you
were
know,
you do you think you were considered overqualified at that point?
of of course we all are. Everyone is. That's why we
Right.
all work for ourselves now. It's not that I
Yes.
wanted to. It's not that I wanted to. I had to. And you know what Oprah says? Oprah says, make your passion your paycheck. So I said, thank you, Auntie Oprah. I'm going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And since no one's hiring me, and since no one was hiring me, I had to hire myself. I had to hire myself. But
Yes.
yeah, I went to places who I knew needed a school director or a school dean. I knew they needed that, or they needed a principal, which I qualified for. I got a PhD in business, so I qualify for all that. But it comes to a point where there are people who are intimidated by what you have to
Yes.
offer. When you're young, you're sharp, and you're black, and you have it together, you are a threat. Period.
Yes,
Period.
you are.
And that, no matter where you go, you are you're a threat. So people who I knew needed me, and I knew I could help. And I said, you know what? They did me a favor. They did me a favor by not hiring me. So you know what? You get to watch.
Yes.
You get to
So
watch.
so
So
what exactly are you doing full time right now?
I am doing GYM Global. I have a great team of people. I pulled my resources. I'm investing in myself. The beauty is I saved a lot of my money, and I've hired a publicist. I have a brand specialist. I have an intern. I have a social media person. I've got 4 people who are the best at what they do. So we are all pushing the Dr. D brand. And when you want to make it happen, you have to invest in yourself first. No one's
Yes,
going
you
to invest in
do.
you. No one's going to invest in you if you're not willing to have the funds to do it yourself. And it takes some money to make money. Period. It takes money
Yes.
to make money. We all know
And it
that.
takes it
So
takes a lot of time.
yes,
Also, time and
yes,
patience, and you got to be willing to, take losses, understand
and
those
you will.
no's. You got to
Yes,
understand so much during this journey.
yes. And you said something earlier. You said the fear, and the fear is real, and it is. And fear is what has paralyzed so many people. I really believe that's why so many people now have a 9 to 5. They have insurance because that's safe. They know that, and that's secure. And I get that. Everybody is not, everybody's a task or needs to be task oriented. But for me,
Right.
uh, I looked in the mirror and I took a chance on that girl in the mirror I see every day, and I knew she'd be a good gamble. I believe in Denise that Mose so much. There's a fine line between cocky and confident. There's a fine line, and you need
Mhm.
both in this world. You need both in this world. You need both, but you got to know how to measure both of those things. So
Yeah, like as
I'm
though you humble yourself.
right. So but that's what helps. I just said, you know what, I've got to make money. I've got a phone. I got a car payment. Those things, I want to keep those things. I got to keep those things. So you do what you have to. So I got with some great investors who believed in me. They had a disposable income that I needed, and they believed in me. I did a business plan, and I've got an investor now who I told Kenneth about, who's just wonderful, very supportive of my career. And his company's been like, okay, what do you need? What do you want to do? Okay, this is what we can give you. And I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. So you have to be transparent with people who can help you, and then the ones who you think wouldn't help you, but they are. So
Mhm.
yeah. So it's been a
Yes.
blessing. So yeah, my book is out, my workbook is out, my podcast is out. It's every Sunday at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I'm speaking, and it's been wonderful. I've enjoyed it. I've got and
That's
then the beauty
good.
is, yeah, and then it's, are we there yet at the level I want to be? No, it's on the way though.
No,
It's
it's
coming.
coming. You got to
It's
speak it
coming.
into existence.
You better, you bet. If you don't
Yes.
believe in yourself, it's gonna be even harder for you. So you have to. My podcast last week was be your own cheerleader. You must be your own cheerleader. If you're the only, if it's Mardi Gras and they got their floats and they go, you better get yours in there too.
Mhm. You could be like you
Try and be.
talking to yourself all the time.
Absolutely. What do I say? Talking to myself because I am my own consultant. That's a little way. That's a little Wayne
So
said.
tell me a little bit about your childhood. What was your childhood like?
Oh, let me tell you, it was very unfair because I had and I have 2 amazing parents. my mom passed away, 15 years ago, and my dad they were the best. They took us. We were always the only black kids with other white kids. That was who we were. The most kids. We went skiing at Gatlinburg, Tennessee. It's a really cool place. They ski there, and we went there when we were 10 years old. Why were you skiing? And my mom was like, "'Cause you going." We don't want to go. You gonna go. We took piano lessons, and we were all musically inclined. My scholarship was music and academics at A&M. My brother was a full scholarship in playing the percussion in the band. So we traveled as kids, and my parents took us everywhere. They exposed us. My mother grew up very, very poor in Clarksville, Mississippi. She grew up very poor, the oldest of 15. So she grew up poor and not having anything, and all she had was education. She was very, very smart, had a high IQ. She skipped 2 grades, and she met my dad at Jackson State and high school sweethearts, and rest is history. So I had a great foundation. They loved each other, and with the PTO meetings, and we were cheerleaders, and they were there, and we had band trips. So it's very unfair because I had 2 amazing parents who made sure I didn't miss anything. My brother and my sister, we missed nothing. We missed nothing. And I pour that into my niece. My niece is 10 years old. I don't have any children. So Maddie is 10, and when I do my assignments that I get hired by, NBC, ESPN, whoever hires me, I take her. She's been to Vegas and the Grand Canyon and all these cool, the Colorado River, she's been all these cool places. She's only 10, so she's been a plane at least 20 times. So what my parents gave to me, I'm going to pour into her for this generation. And it makes her more, she's been to New York, Washington, D.C. We take her everywhere. We take her everywhere so she can see these things. We took her to the Amish last year. We spent a whole day with the Amish community and got the honey and the molasses. And, of course, they didn't talk to us, but she saw that. She's the only little black girl, of course, that was there. But we take her. We, my sister and I, we plan what we're going to do with Madison, what we're going to take her, what we're going to expose her to. Because when you see those things at a young age, you don't forget that.
No, you don't.
So I know it's going to bless her when she gets older. So, yeah.
So what things that you went through? How old were you when your mother passed?
Oh, I was 32, 33.
So what things did you go through during that time?
Oh my goodness. Now I will say this: out of all 3 of us, I was the closest to my mom. Now Danielle will say she was, and Danny will say he was. I was the closest to her. I was the closest.
Y'all be all day arguing.
I was her favorite. Danielle and I are twins, but I was her favorite. You and I both know that. I was her favorite. But my mother, growing up, she was never ill. She was never, ever ill. She was never sick. She retired, traveled to Paris, went to London. And it was not until 2 years before she passed that she got really, really ill. She was always diabetic, but she was not on insulin or any of those things. She was never on those things. She had medication, but that never stopped her because she was on our field trips and things like that, PTA meetings and things like that. She was never ill. So what a blessing that she got ill when she was older. My dad took care of her, and she had good insurance, and the nurse came to the house, and she didn't miss a beat, but
right.
When she did pass, it just it's a hole, it's a void, because that's the one voice that will be so wonderful and so supportive. And don't get me wrong, my dad's great. My dad is 75 years young, and you would not know it. He's in better shape than I am. But you just, it's hard because the things I'm doing now, I wish I could call her and tell her. I know she sees it. She sees everything, but I wish I could call her. I would love to have one more hug from her. I want some more of her dressing from Thanksgiving. I want some more of her cooking, just to sit with her and laugh, just to laugh with her, because
that's how I be feeling about my mom. I be wanting her food so bad, or just even lay in her bed with her.
Yes,
hear her voice.
Or just her perfume. You walk and I'm like, oh my God, someone's wearing my mom wore that perfume. You smell the perfume or her favorite color. And I would say this would help me. my mother loved the color yellow, and she loved butterflies. So when she passed, the day she passed, there were several yellow butterflies. I said, thank you,
Wow.
Lord. There was, and so now, even 15 years later, when I see a yellow butterfly, and I see them all the time, I know she's near. I
That's
know she's
her.
near. So that's her.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I'll never forget that. She's in the mausoleum because my mom was like, I grew up poor, so I
Yeah.
don't want to have dirt in my mouth. So
That's
she's in
what
the
my
mausoleum.
mom said. And we have
Yes,
my mom in a mausoleum, and my
mausoleum.
grandfather and
Yes.
grandmother is next to her.
Mhm. When my dad passed, now my dad remarried 5 years ago. He married Miss Joyce, and she's wonderful.
Oh, that's
But when he
nice.
passes, he'll go in with my mother because they bought that together years ago.
Okay.
But yeah, he fell in love again, 7 years old. Go ahead, Dad. Go ahead.
Yeah,
You
that's
know, and
good.
she,
And it's
yeah,
good that you guys accept that, because he deserved to still be happy too.
absolutely. You know, it's not about us. It's about companionship, longevity. She was a widow as well. She's a widow, and they're from California, and they met getting their car service, and the rest is history. You know, so they met years, of course, after my mom passed, and what a blessing that they got married. It was a very sweet wedding at Church First Baptist here in Huntsville, and they're great. You know,
Hmm.
they're great. They're retired and can retire and chilling out every day and watching soap operas and driving around, you know, and take up to New Orleans, you know. So not
Just
now,
living
but
their
you know,
best life.
yeah,
So how
yeah.
how
Because
is how are you? Are you married or anything?
I am not married. You know, Michael B. Jordan is tripping. You know, I don't understand. I've I've called Michael. I've interviewed Michael B. Jordan. I've
Man, let
seen
me let
videos.
me tell him.
I've done everything short of stalking Michael B. Jordan, and I
So he
realized
acted funny,
that
huh?
I mean it's not me. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready for the commitment. I'm ready.
That's
But
crazy. We
you
gotta
know
make
Michael
sure
B.
he get himself together. We gotta tell
I
him.
just I mean I've seen three, 4, 5 times because as a supportive future wife, that's where I need to be. You know,
Yeah.
so but now let me tell you, but all seriousness, but no, I am seeing someone. He's very, very sweet and very, very low key, wonderful
That's
guy,
good.
and he's great. So we'll see. But he's
That's
great. Yeah,
good.
yeah. But no, but no on the children. I'm not going to create anything except books. I'm going to produce books. You know,
No,
I'm gonna be
right.
pregnant with my. I'll be pregnant with my dreams, but no, I'm not. No, no, because I'm homeschooling with my niece. You know, since all the schools are closed now, I have the ability
Right.
to be here with her because I live with my sister in her house.
Okay.
But because I'm like let me go home because and save some money. Let me not be dumb and go to New York, LA, DC, Chicago and pay $3,000 for an apartment that's 500 square feet. Let me be smart. Let me be smart. So so I live here and but the homework they have and the assignments, I'm like, oh my God, recycle
Wow.
project and Earth Day. I'm like, okay, I'm the aunt. Let's go outside
Well,
and play
you
the street.
never know. Things may change.
Oh no, I know. Oh no, I know. Hallelujah, I know. Look at God. I know. No, God. Yeah, I know.
So what are some what struggles did you have to overcome?
As far as my business or China
It
or just
it could be, I want to say, mainly your business.
when people invest their money in you and you lose their money.
Oh,
Because like we said earlier, when you start a business and for the most part it's been great. I mean I've learned I wouldn't change anything. There are no burned bridges. I will say this, there are some people who disappointed me and I disappointed them. It goes both ways. So those bridges are burned. And then there are some that are even better today. So excuse me. What did I learn? I've learned to realize that everybody in my circle cannot go to every level because when you
mm-hmm.
go to certain levels, you need new people to support you in that level. Adora
Yes.
and Orange, folks on my team, I have never met. We met on Instagram, and we speak every week. I talked to Adora today. She's my illustrator. She's behind the illustration of my
Mm-hmm.
podcast, my cartoon character. We've never met, but we Zoom, we Instagram, and we email. Leon Orange is my social media guy. He handles my website and updates my website. I've never met him, but that's the world we live in. This is the digital age.
Yeah.
What's your phone number? What's your Instagram? Let's Zoom. Let's do an Uber conference. So the people
So
who
let's
I
get
need,
it.
the people who I need to get me there are folks who I may never meet, but are going to be someone that's going to support my business. So guess what? Let me not be so, well, we got a meeting, let me fly in. No. What's your phone number?
Yeah.
What's your
Yeah,
Instagram?
and
Okay, what's
you
your
know
Zoom
what's so
ID? Okay.
crazy? During the years of me being a business owner, I've been a business owner, it'll be 9 years. A lot of
Mhm.
the friends that I had, even some of my childhood friends, I do not even speak to them anymore. It was like
Absolutely.
it was like to a point where they thought I was better. They was thinking that I was thinking I was better than them, or
Absolutely.
they felt like I owed them something for
Right.
doing anything. It was just crazy how they thought process was. And I really had to
Absolutely.
sit back and analyze, like, it's not me, it's you. And then
Right. Right.
I try to let them come with me. I try to motivate them and have them start their own business and recognize the talents that they have, but they chose otherwise.
Right.
So
Right.
I
Right.
really understand where you're coming from. And now that I have friends on my level, it's so peaceful.
Right. And I listen to a lot of Drake, a lot of Wayne, a lot of old school little
No
Kim.
new
And I
friends, no
tell
new
you,
friends.
it's well that too, but also you know, I love forever. Like at least you got the witness. At least you got the witness.
Right, right.
Hey, you can't be with. You got the witness. So I don't know. It's just again, I know that people disappointed me, and then there were some that I disappointed. So I own that. At the same time, there are people who are like, you trying to be famous. I'm trying to get paid. I look, and this is nothing against Kim Kardashian or her family. Kim Kardashian is worth several $100 million. Kim Kardashian did not graduate from college. She cannot sing. She cannot write. She cannot act. But she made, on a low day, $70 million last year. $70
Mm-hmm.
million. Now, yeah, she's in LA and her dad was an attorney, but she worked that whole issue she had, got a good agent, turned it around, and became who she is. And that's the
Yep.
American dream. That's the American dream.
Yes,
I'm
it
not mad at that.
is.
Oprah was poor in Mississippi. Poor. Her father was a barber, and her mom did not get along. And she went to Tennessee State, was poor, had no money, got a scholarship, and she is the first black billionaire. So guess what? No excuse.
Mm-hmm. Because
President
we
Obama,
gonna be one too.
you better believe it. I'm gonna get my plane and pick you up, and I'm gonna meet you in the Maldives.
Mm-hmm.
On the Fiji, So I have a vision board, and in my workbook I talk about the vision board, how important it is to write down. The Bible says, write the vision. You
Yes.
must write. If you want to say, I want to be famous, I want to have financial freedom, financial wealth. I want to retire my sister and my brother. When my niece turns 18, I want to give her a trust fund that she can do anything she wants to. I'm going to do those things.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to happen. Period.
Yes.
Period.
And you're speaking it into existence too.
You have to. We're gonna go fly to Hawaii all first class. Period. I'm gonna buy more stock. In companies and have stock from my niece. She has no idea. But you know what? That's what our counterparts do. That's what our
Right.
counterparts do. That's why you have 25, 35-year-old Caucasian kids who will never have to work because their parents
Yeah.
invested in them
And
when they were
a lot
babies.
of that's a big void in our culture. It's like we so
Right.
focused on materialistic things,
Yeah.
and
Immediate
we really don't.
gratification. We don't want to wait.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
need to focus on our wealth and the things,
Yeah.
longevity of the things
Yeah.
that we need in our future or when we're gone.
Right. And I see that changing. You look at Tyler Perry, what he's done, owning Atlanta and then buying that
Yes.
studio for his son. I see that shift changing. There are more African Americans today who've invested more, doing more, living better, having more money. So there are many Black folks, right? See, Black people, we're not hurt during this COVID. We've always had less. So we survive with less. So when we have
Yes.
more, we just do more with it. But we've always been
Mm-hmm.
given less anyway. So this virus is not affecting us as far as when I say affect, I mean as far as without having any
Survival.
food. For the most part, yeah. For the most part, our counterparts are saying, "Well, I want to get out the house." It's like, well, that's what we do. We go to the house,
Mm-hmm.
turn TV on, relax, chill out. So, yeah. It's interesting. It's interesting, but yeah,
Yes.
I just
So what
go
other
ahead.
books do you have?
Good question. You know what? I stick with the classics. I'll be honest with you. I read a lot of Hawthorne and Maya Angelou and Nikki Giovanni, Edgar Allan Poe. We're doing. My niece is getting into literature, so she knows who Hester Prynne is from The Scarlet Letter. She knows about the characters Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet. She says, "Well, Titi, there's a protagonist." I said, "Yes, they are, Madison. Use that word, protagonist."
Right.
So I love the classic stories because they
Okay.
hold so much weight. So much weight. The Count of Monte Cristo. He went through so much. There's a great line in the Count of Monte Cristo where he says, "How did I escape? With difficulty. How did I plan this moment? With pure joy." I love that line. I love that. He said, "How did I escape? With difficulty. How did I plan this moment? With joy." So it's like, I went through all these awful things, but I finally got here. Hester Prynne, she's a controversial character, but she was given so many issues that she didn't cause. In the end, she finally wins. She I named my daughter Pearl because it cost so much to keep her. I stick to the classics. I love the older. I love the stories of literature. I love Greek mythology, and I love all that. So as far as
That's
anything new and
good.
current, I read Good to Great, by Jim Collins. I've read Rich Dad Poor Dad. I mean, we've all done those things,
Right.
But as far as when I want to be inspired, honestly, I just I really listen to a lot of good music. Again, my old school, Lil Kim. I got no time for fake ones. I got no time, I love Foxy Brown, I won't say what she said, but I just I love that. I really do. I'm
Okay.
a big, huge Biggie fan. I love Jay-Z, Big Pimpin', we spin the cheese, I but
Well,
to me
that's good.
that's very motivating. Then I have my Tasha Cobbs and Jonathan McReynolds, cycles, and Tasha Cobbs and Breckenridge Chain and Happy
So you got
and
you have a real good mixture, and that's
oh, and I got
really
and
good.
then my country music, the Dixie Chicks, and Garth Brooks. I got my classical. So yeah, if you look at my iPad or for me, you're like, okay, so from Garth Brooks to Pantera to Aerosmith to Pastor Shirley Caesar to Little Kim to Foo Fighters. Yeah, I got everything because you
That's
need to
good.
appreciate all that. Yeah, I listen to everything. Everything. I love it all. I love it all. So I can take something from all of that.
So in closing,
Yeah.
what is something that you could say that is really motivating and inspiring for a woman that's trying to get through things along the way of getting in a great position in her life?
Number one, you've got to be honest with yourself. You really, really do. It's somewhat taboo to say, "Oh, I want to make a lot of money. I want to be straight." What's wrong with that? Why can't you say that? Why can't you say, "I want my name in lights. I want to be the female. I want to be I don't want to be the next Ryan Seacrest or the next Oprah. I'm the first Denise. That's who I want to be." I think you can be really, really honest with yourself about what you want to be and how to get there. And two, what skills do you have that can make it happen for you? I don't sing, I don't dance, Denise can write. So I've written 4 books. I do a podcast. I write it myself. I produce it myself. When I do interviews, I write my questions out. So I bank on the skills I already have. I speak a lot. I talk a lot. I had my show for 5 years, my talk show. So let me do a podcast. So I speak and I write very, very well. So those two things are going to get me where I'm trying to go. So let me hone those. Let me read the classics, but also appreciate today's music, and combine those two, have them work in concert together, so that I can have any conversation with anybody of any age, anywhere, on any plane.
Right.
So do your homework. Do your don't say, well, I don't like these people. You better appreciate everybody and everything, because money comes from everywhere, especially now. The folks who buy my books, I've never met them. A lot of folks I've sold about maybe 120 books right now, and I would say 80% of those books are folks I've never met. They heard my podcast, saw my website, and ordered. That's so that tells you right there, it's a whole different day. The most folks who support me don't look like me. They're not brown. They're not chocolate. And guess what? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
So how can our listeners get in touch with you?
Please listen to my podcast. It's every Sunday at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. It is Anchor, ANCHOR /FM Dr. Denise Mose. So please go to my podcast. You can Google me, and it's there. Go to my website at www.drdenisemose.com. Email me, send me a DM. Everything is there on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Email me, talk to me. Let's talk, let's chat, let's make some things happen.
Well,
Google me,
so much.
Not to brag, but Google me.
Thank you so much for being on the podcast show. I really appreciate it. Your energy is amazing.
Thank you. Life is short. You gotta go for it. You have to. I mean, you don't have to, but you're missing out when you don't.
Yes. Thank you so much.